Hello and welcome to the Bookcast Club. Today you've got me, Jenny, and you have got a friend of the pod, Millie, who has joined me. We are going to be doing a cozy books episode, and I couldn't think of anyone better than our friend Millie, who is a patron, but that's not why you're here. Millie was just telling me she's a big fan of the pod, which is really nice. But I have to say that I'm a huge fan of your Instagram account. So, is it a public one or is it private?
No, it is public. Yeah, it is public.
What's your handle? Do you mind
So
sharing?
no, of course not. I love the podcast. I am a big fan. It is Salt on Sunshine.
And I love it because you're like my perfect mix of everything. Like you like the gym and you like reading. Millie reads way more than I do. But yeah, it's just and cats and knitting and cuteness and yeah, I love it. So
All the good things in life.
yeah, all the good things. So you're literally like the perfect person to have on for this episode.
Oh, blushing.
I've wanted to do this for a while because I do love a cozy book, but we were just talking about the fact that I've scrolled back through mine and I don't know how recommendable a lot of them are. However, I have managed to find a few that I would really recommend, and I know that you've definitely got some good ones that you want to talk about.
I hope so.
In way of introduction, do you just want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I'm Millie Mary Fraser, and I live in Weston-super-Mare. And yeah, I enjoy all the things Jenny said, reading, going to the gym, doing lots of crochet, and lots of walks. So lots of cozy times, this is my perfect time of year as well. September is my favorite month because it's a lead up to the cozy season. And I always feel like the anticipation to the cozy season is better than winter. So
I agree. It's like Christmas, isn't it? It's like the build up to Christmas is always better than actual Christmas Day.
yes,
Um,
yes.
so what are your favourite books? I did write down in our show notes, like, what's your favourite book? And Millie is refusing to answer that question, so she's going to give us a few, I think.
Well, it's impossible to pick one. I mean, how can you have one favorite? It depends on your mood. But I have three, so I know that's more. So I'll just say the
That's fine.
titles and the authors. The first one is The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle, because it's just the best fairy tale ever. And if you haven't read it, you just have to, because it's beautiful and magical, and it's about a unicorn, and it has a wizard called Schmendrick in it, and it's about a quest. So it's fabby. The second one is very different. It's called Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters. My favourite of hers is just, isn't it? I mean, is Nan King just the best character ever? Yes, maybe. And the third one is The Gloaming by Kirsty Logan, because Kirsty Logan's writing is just stunning, and I love her magical realism, and the stories with the story within this is just, it's just beautiful and it's enchanting. So I would recommend those to anyone.
Yeah, we love Kirsty Logan. Well, I do love Kirsty Logan.
Yes.
I did very much enjoy The Gloaming. I have read Tipping the Velvet. It's not my favourite of Sarah Waters, but I
Ooh,
mean,
what's your
she's.
favorite?
I haven't read all of them. God, which ones have I read? The Little Stranger, obviously, I do really like, but I think I like The Night Watch the best out of the ones that I've read. However, I have been told that I haven't read her best ones, which Fingersmith and what's the one about prison?
Oh, Affinity.
Yes. So I haven't read those two, so I don't know if I'm judging fairly.
They are very good. Fingersmith's really good, but it's
Yeah.
very twisty turny and not quite as heartwarming as Tipping the Velvet, I didn't think.
Okay. I love the setting of Tipping the Velvet,
Oh,
definitely.
yes,
And her
yes.
books always like stick in my mind anyway, so she's just brilliant. Due another book out, I'd have thought.
What was the last one she had out? I can't remember.
Was it The Paying Guests? Because if it was, that came out quite a long time ago.
I think I've downloaded it on Audible actually. I need to actually listen to that. But I think I've got the paper copy as well. So Yeah, I haven't read it though.
Again, I don't think it's one of her better ones. Oh my gosh, 2014. So if that was her last book, it was like 10 years ago now. So yeah,
Oh
that's
God.
mad.
The 2014 is not 10 years ago.
I know, terrifying. But yeah, I think from your favourite book choices, you fit in quite well around here. I have not read The Last Unicorn, but I have heard of it. It's definitely on my TBR. So the fact that you've said how much you love it, I think I'll get to that sooner rather than later. Yeah, we're going to talk cozy reads, but first we're going to do a classic recent / current reads. I've only got one that I'm going to talk about, and it's really funny because I know Millie is also reading this book, but I can't talk about my recent reads because one was the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which I've already talked about and probably don't need to go back there, and I've just finished Fourth Wing, but that is for an episode to come, so I won't talk about that one either. But me and Millie are both reading, and I'm very nearly finished. I think I'm like 10 pages from the end. Cackle by Rachel Harrison. I picked it up because I feel like we are in that run up to spooky season, and I'd also heard that it was quite cozy, so I thought, do you know what? I'll read it because if I've got it finished for this episode, I could talk about it. Okay, so Cackle is about Annie, who's moved to this small town to start a new job as a teacher. She's just broken up with her boyfriend and is quite clearly going through some heartbreak. And it has that kind of small, cozy town vibe, which I vaguely remembered people saying it was cozy, but I kind of had forgotten and thought it was just going to be a spooky book. But when I started reading it, it's definitely got that sort of small town newcomer into a cutesy town, like she goes to a cafe every morning, like it is very sweet. But she meets this lady called Sophie, who very quickly you realise as the reader that she's perhaps a witch, and she lives in a big mansion in the middle of the forest, and she strikes up this close friendship with Sophie, who, as the book goes on, has more and more influence on her life, I guess. I don't know if there's more to it than that, to be honest. Like the local townsfolk there's negative vibes around this Sophie lady, and you don't really know why. So they're quite reluctant, hesitant, I guess, of the friendship that seems to be blooming between them. Yeah, I'm really loving it. So you said you've read about a third of it, right? A quarter of it?
Yeah, probably about a third of it. I sort of started it the other night, but I am racing through it. I definitely cozy vibes.
Yeah, it's got very cozy vibes. Like, it also has some spooky vibes in it as well. So I would say like it's a really good one for the kind of upcoming Halloween season. Rachel Harrison's known more for her horror. I think I haven't read any of her other books, but I think she writes more straight up horror normally.
You might, because you're into a horror, aren't you? So
Yeah,
you might, if you
yeah.
liked that one, you might want to pick up some more of hers.
Yeah, so she's normally more of a like straight up horror author, I think. So she's got one called Black Sheep, which I have no idea what that's about, and Such Sharp Teeth, which I think is a werewolf, like a woman turning into a werewolf. But yeah, this one, I love the spiders in it. Have you reached the bit where she's given the spider?
No, but I've seen there's been spiders coming into it, and she's met Sophie, and she had a spider on her, and there's been spiders in her, in the place that she's living in, the rented place. But so far, she's just picking them up and putting them out.
Yeah.
So it's not too creepy yet. I mean, I'm okay with spiders. I wouldn't want one on me, so we'll see how I go.
You see how you go, but the spider in this is my favourite character.
Oh, that makes me
When you
excited.
get to the spider bits. Yeah, so but there are elements of it that are quite scary. So I don't know if you've reached those bits. There's some bits where she's stayed at Sophie's like mansion, and there'll be like a reflection of somebody in the mirror behind her. So there's
Oh,
bits of it that I would say could be quite scary. Like I don't scare easily, but even I was like, ooh, just a little bit of a like shiver. So yeah, perfect one for the upcoming spooky season and for a cozy read, because I do think it has those cozy vibes. Whether it'll end on a cozy note, I don't know. It's hard to tell, because some of the more scary bits she writes in it are quite scary. So I don't know what the ending's going to be. But yeah, I'm loving it. So I would definitely like to read more of her stuff.
I'm excited to finish that one too. I think with books is having a little bit of scariness in there, especially on the lead up, even though it's cozy. Like you said, if it's just a reflection or something, it's a little bit, it just makes you, when you go to bed at night, you're kind of thinking about it, and it's
Yeah.
like stays with you. I
Just a
do
little
like that.
bit spooky.
Yeah.
So what about you? Other than Cackle, what have you been reading?
So I also read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. So I'll just literally say that briefly because, as you said, I think we both liked it enough to finish it, but maybe not recommend it to people. It's just, yeah, it's just sort of for that cozy vibes, but not necessarily the best book ever. Definitely not
Yeah,
the best book ever.
definitely not the best book ever. However, what's the second one called? Because it was 99p on Kindle and I did buy it.
Oh,
So,
oh no.
Cinnamon Bun Bookstore.
Oh dear.
So this series of books are called the Dream Harbor series. And I
Yes.
think each book deals with a different character. So
Oh no.
whoever owns the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore is the next is the next lead character in it. So I did buy it. It was 99p. So yeah, it's.
But see, because it's the bookstore, that now makes me want to read it.
Now you want to read it.
But no, I'm like, no, remember, Mel, remember I just feel like it was quite a surface level book, like you don't go too deeply, which maybe that's what you want.
We're going to go on to talk about what we like in a cozy book, but I have read quite a lot of quite naff cozy reads. Like the plot's not very good, they're very surface level, the romances aren't particularly believable, but if they can nail the setting of it, I seem to still enjoy them. So even though the Pumpkin Spice Cafe wasn't brilliant, and I've talked about it recently on the pod, I've still gone and bought the bloody second one, and I probably will read it because they're quite a quick read.
Oh yeah,
Bit
I
of a
think I
palate
read
cleanser. Cringy sex scenes, as you put it.
They were cringy, but be warned if you're gonna read it. But yeah, we all have a good sex scene, but I feel like a cringy sex scene in a cozy book is like, why? Just why?
They're a little bit jarring, just to warn you.
Out of nowhere, out of nowhere. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. But just quickly, I will say, if you're looking for something, so the other thing I read recently was Absolutely and Forever by Rose Tremain. And I read it in literally a day. I mean, I didn't have anything else to do that day. It's not a very long book. Hang on, how many? It's only like 180 pages, but it's just the most beautiful story. It's set in the 50s, and it's about Marianne, and she's it starts when she's 15, and she meets this boy Simon, and he has a Morris Minor. But the story then moves on, and it is about them, but it becomes about other things as well, and her life, and it's just enthralling. Like I said, it's quite a quick read. I read it outside because it was sunny and I didn't have anything else to do that day, so I was like, this is perfect. But it was just beautiful, really, and I hadn't read anything by her before, so I'm keen to read more by her, to be honest.
Yeah, I haven't read anything by her, but I recognised her name when you said it, so I've just gone to look at what else she's written, and I feel like I see this book called Lily, A Tale of Revenge quite often. It's probably drawn my attention before. Yeah, no, that sounds really good. She's got loads of books.
Yeah, I'm excited. When you sort of find a new author to you and you love it, and then you're like, they have got so many good, so many other books to read. It feels like you've just taken a bite out of and you've got a whole cake left, and you're like,
God,
this is
she's
going to
got
be
loads and loads of books. Yeah, that's exciting. This is where we take a little break to tell you about all the different ways you can support the pod, most of which are totally free. We'll start with our Patreon. We've changed things up a little, making all our bonus content open to everyone, no matter what tier you're on. A more pay what you can kind of thing. Tiers start at just £2 a month, and joining our Patreon will give you access to all our chat on recent and current reads, DNFs, book prizes, what we're watching, and lots more. You could try our Patreon for free today. We highly encourage a binge listen to our back catalogue of bonus episodes, and take no offence if you choose to cancel afterwards. If you love receiving book mail and personalised recommendations, our top tier is still available. We get you to fill in a survey, and then we tailor our book recommendations to your preferences. Find all the details in our show notes. Now for the free ways to support us that make a huge difference. A really effective and easy way of showing your support is by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. There is a link in the show notes that will take you straight to the Apple Podcast page where you can write a review. If you listen on Spotify, you can very easily give us a star rating. You can also share our posts on social media. We're at Bookcast Club on Instagram and TikTok. You can sign up to our newsletter on Substack, where we share even more book recommendations, our pick of the new releases, and all the latest podcast news. But the best way for us to find new listeners is by you telling your book-loving friends and family about us. However you choose to show your support, we, as always, want to say a huge thank you. We appreciate each and every one of our listeners. We're going to talk a little bit about what makes a book cosy for us. Now, I thought I really knew what I enjoyed in cosy books until I tried to start scrolling through my Goodreads and Storygraph trying to find books to talk about, and I was like, God, some of the books I read under this category are just trash, and I don't recommend them, so I'm not going to talk about them. But what about you? What do you look for in a cosy book? What do you like to see in a cosy book?
Well, I get what you're saying, because sometimes cozy for some people might be just, it's like some people think of cozy TV as just sort of trashy TV, or what one person's trash is another person's cozy. But for me, it's got to be more. For it to be cozy, it's got to be a book that makes me feel both happy and sad at the same time. So nothing too dramatically sad, but also just not. I don't want like happy, happy, happy. And it's normally books that are set around small characters with small worlds, and the little everyday mundane things that they do that I can relate to. So nothing with a big plot or in a big arcing. It's just sort of very small lives, which I guess is why I'm drawn to the small cozy town, which is probably where the pumpkin spice cafe, that's why it came in. But it's, yeah, there's just the cozy things that make up the day, and the little things that the characters notice, that's I then get drawn into their world, and then that I feel cozy within that world. And also I always want to know if I feel cozy and warm if after I've read it, I then want to know. I feel like the characters are real, and I want to know, well, what happens, what are they doing now, as if they were real people.
So you will have to read the sequel of the Pumpkin Spice Cafe now.
I suppose I will.
How it all goes down.
I will. I can already see that's going to happen. I'm annoyed at
I'll
future.
read it first, and I'll let you know if it's worth it.
I'm annoyed at future Millie for already going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, I had to think a little bit, actually. I had to reverse this a little bit and think about the film and TV that I quite like, because I have two sides to me. I like horror and I like romantic comedies, and some of my favourite films, like you say, probably people think are the worst films ever. So I think for me, it needs to be like that small town setting where everyone knows each other and they come in and out of each other's lives. I like quite familiar places as well. I think that's why I like coffee shops and bookstores. Like, why are they cozy? Is it just because what we think of is the like quintessential oldie worldy bookshop that someone's running, or a cute any TV with like a coffee cafe setting I always really like as well. So Gilmore Girls, and I'm watching Schitt's Creek at the moment, and like that all centers around like a cafe as well. So
Friends.
yeah, Friends, exactly. All these TV programs that I love, and I like romance in my books, but I guess it doesn't have to be like romantic. I like love in books, so it doesn't have to be like romance between a man and a woman or like sexual attraction. It can be like just a loving connection between friends or siblings or like that family unit as well.
Yeah.
I find really cozy. But it's funny, I had to think of all the films that I love to like come up with those things, which is really random. Because a lot of the cozy books I've read have those cheesy covers, like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. If you've seen the cover of it, it's just the epitome of like cozy, cheesy,
It's gorgeous.
probably a little bit trashy. Just, and I pick them up at Christmas time. There's always Christmas ones, and like they're kind of mindless, but they are very comforting. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend them as like the best literature I've ever read. So when I was scrolling back through my list of books, I was like, I just tend to read crap, to be honest. But I have found a few. We've got like 3 each to go through. Do you start? You kick us off.
Oh, okay. I was thinking then when you were talking, actually, when you said you were drawn to things in the like bookshops and coffee shops, it's probably because you can, like you said, see yourself there. It's that relatability, and if you can put yourself in the story, that you're then in that world, and that in itself feels cozy, doesn't
And
it?
if it's a nice story to be part of, it's lovely, isn't it?
So that actually leads us on to The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic by Breanne Randall. This is the last time I mentioned the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, but I will say, if anyone's read that one and thought it was a bit cheesy, this one is very similar to the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, but it's, I believe, a lot better. It's super cozy. It's basically, the main character is Sadie Reveler, and she lives with her grandmother in the small town. So you have those small town vibes. She does run her grandmother's cafe.
Yes.
So yes, so you've got that. She bakes her cinnamon buns. She's doing all the good stuff. But she is heartbroken, and there's this curse on her family, and that there's going to be like there's like a curse of 4 heartbreaks, basically. I think it's 4, if I can remember. And so she doesn't want to have them, and she's kind of constantly, it's that trope of running from love, I guess, or not running from, sort of trying to avoid love because you don't want a broken heart. So it's got those fairy tale elements as well. It's very witchy, very small town, super super cozy. And it's not a huge book either. It's like 300 pages, just over. And there is a love interest. An ex comes back on the scene, so I think you'd love it, Jenny.
Yeah, I think I would. And I saw it in Forbidden Planet the other weekend when me and Ben went to London, and I was like, why have I heard of this book? And now I remember, I think I'd seen it on your Instagram. That sounds really good. Sounds a little bit Practical Magic-esque. Although I'd say Practical Magic isn't very cozy, actually. So
I think the film is cozier
the
than
film's
the
cozy,
book.
the books aren't particularly.
No.
But that like curse kind of storyline is quite similar.
Yes, no, it did remind me of Practical. It reminded me of the film Practical Magic. I do enjoy the books. I've read the first 2 Practical Magic ones, but in my head they're very separate to the films. The films
They're
are one
quite
thing.
different.
Yeah, you've got to go in thinking they're almost different storylines, which is kind of weird, but
So that's interesting. Then that one you're talking about is nice and cozy, because that, I feel like a lot of people watch the film of Practical Magic and then read the books are really quite disappointed. But you do have to treat them quite differently, because they definitely don't capture the cozy vibes of the film.
But if you like the cozy vibes of Practical Magic film, read The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic, because it's very cozy.
I really want to read that one now. Okay, so my first one is one I read quite a long time ago, and it's quite an old book as well. I don't know when it was written, but The Diary of a Provincial Lady by E.M. Delafield. Now, this is one of those books that was published by, I think, Virago Classics. So it has one of those like cloth bound covers, and
Beautiful.
I think Persephone have also published it as well. But it's a collection of diary entries written by a sort of well-to-do housewife in the 1930s, and it's very funny. It reminds me a lot of Bridget Jones's Diary. It's that kind of like self-deprecating humor that's in Bridget Jones. Like, she's a bit of a klutz, and she gets herself into like really awkward situations with her neighbours and stuff because she doesn't speak her mind, and it's very Bridget Jones vibes. But it's basically, I guess it's cozy because it's in this sort of domestic setting, even though it's, I mean, really, she's probably upper middle class, I'd have thought. It's very keeping up appearances. Like, it's set in the Great Depression, and they're obviously struggling for money, but trying to keep up pretenses that they are still well-to-do and not struggling. So yeah, it's that domestic setting that I find really cozy, and I don't know why, because it's nothing like my life, like serving tea and, you know, entertaining your neighbours, and it's completely different. But I think because it's set in a house and you can kind of picture yourself in those situations, like she has a overbearing neighbour that comes round, and you can just imagine the same, like one of your neighbours rocking up and saying inappropriate things, or like lecturing you about, I don't know, what vitamins you should be taking, and you being too polite to say anything. So yeah, her interactions are very relatable, and I just remember really enjoying it. I really must reread it, but it's really very, very funny, and yeah, a feel good book. Low stakes, like nothing really happens in it. It's just her day-to-day life, and it's just, yeah, good fun.
That sounds amazing. That
I
sounds
think
really
you'd
good.
really like it.
When did you say it was set?
I think it's like the 1930s.
Yeah, that sounds good. Because even though it's relatable, I find, like you said, always, they're serving high tea and they're not going to work or anything. But it's the same way as when you watch, I don't know, Pride and Prejudice, or,
Yes.
Bridgerton or something. You're being almost a little bit removed from your life, and it's so far away from your life that you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is wonderful.
But
This is
plonked
like,
in the day-to-day life of someone else. I think it's
yeah,
probably
like
the appeal of,
escapism.
it's probably the appeal of programs like The Hills, or I used to watch Laguna Beach when I was younger. And even though their lives are completely different, I think it is being picked up and put into what is apparently their like day-to-day life is the bit that makes it compelling and easy watching,
Yeah,
and yeah, like that sort of comfort TV.
and they're
Yeah,
sort
so
of
I loved it.
their worries are very, which, when you're thinking about, you might think their worries are quite trivial in
Yeah,
compared to like what you're dealing with in your life. So it's like, yeah,
that's nice
escape
though,
is
isn't it? Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
definitely.
that's it. It's basically the diary of her quite trivial worries, to be honest, like trying to sort her children out, and talking, I'm pretty sure they talked about boarding school at one point, and yeah, it's very, very good. I enjoyed it a lot, so I must reread it.
That will have to go on my list, because I did enjoy Nancy Mitford. I've read quite a few of
I've
hers.
not read hers, but I feel like it's, yeah, probably of a similar vein, I'd have thought.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I'll add that one onto my list, my ever-growing list of
Yeah, I
books I
know.
want to read before
Never
I
ending
die.
list. Cool. Right, what's your second book?
What is my second? I think I'm gonna go with. So we've had a witchy one. I do The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Clune. I saw this one. When did I read this? I think it was last year. But I'd seen it sort of doing. I'd seen it on some other people's Instagram, and I'll be honest, I don't know why. At first, I didn't think. I think the cover just put me off. It didn't scream cozy to me, and I wanted cozy. I think it was last year. I think it was this
Hmm.
time last year. And then I was in a bookshop and I picked it up, and someone next to me was like, "That is the coziest book I've ever read." And I was like, "Covers lie then," because, and I literally just bought it because, when someone recommends something like in
Yeah.
person, and they say it with such conviction that you're like, right, I have to read this now. It's beautiful. If you want a hug in a book, have you read it?
No, it's another one that's on my like TBR.
It's just so wonderful. It's the main character is Linus Baker, and he works for the department in charge of magical youth. So he's a kind of like kind of like a social worker, I suppose. But he sort of looks after orphanages, but the children, the orphans aren't, it's set in the real world, but it's like a magical realism world. So the children normally are, well, they always are sort of magical. So they could be creatures of some sort of dragon, or they might look like a human child, but then transform into something else. And there's this one particular orphanage, oh God, I can't say that word, where he has to go and sort of assess, and it's just about his time there and the people he meets. There's also a bit of a small little love story going on, which is very sweet, and he's just the most wonderful, humble character. You will just fall in love with him, and I wasn't expecting to love this book as much as I did, to be honest. And by the end, I was like, I was crying, I was happy. It was all the things I said I wanted cozy to be, and I really want to read more, because there's Under the Whispering Door as well, and I think another one by now, maybe.
Somewhere Beyond the Sea is Cerulean Chronicles #2.
Oh, how exciting!
Under the Whispering Door is maybe separate. Yeah, that sounds really good. I didn't actually know what it was about. I think I've added it to my TBR because it was everywhere on social media and everyone was saying how good it was, and it does always pop up in like cozy fantasy recommendations, I guess.
Yeah,
So yes, I've definitely been drawn to it.
it's really good. And again, don't let, because when I sort of read, even when I'd read the blurb, I was like, oh, I don't know, man goes and looks after orphans. I don't know if that's, but there's just something about it. It's just amazing. I've just seen that the V.E. Schwab has got written on the back, I loved it, like being wrapped up in a big gay blanket.
Ah,
So
nice.
it's magical.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely get to that one. Cool. So my second one, and I know I've talked about this on the podcast before, maybe in a memoirs episode, but is Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham. So I should probably caveat that I'm a huge Gilmore Girls fan. So if you like Gilmore Girls, Lauren Graham plays Lorelai in Gilmore Girls. So it might have, made me biased towards this book because she's quite similar in real life to her character in Gilmore Girls. The way like the anecdotes she gives and the way she talks about her life, like she just sounds, obviously she sounds like her because she narrates the audiobook, so obviously she sounds like her, but she talks like Lorelai as well, so she's very quick and very witty. But yeah, I loved it, and I loved the way she talks about her life. Like it's very interesting anyway. Like her career as an actress is very interesting, but she does have a specific few chapters in the book where she talks about Gilmore Girls. So if you love that series and you want to know a little bit more behind the scenes, like she talks about how she met Alexis, who plays Rory. It's just lovely to hear anecdotes about that show and about her friendships on that show and about how filming it was like and the set and all that kind of stuff. So if you're into Gilmore Girls, which I think there'll be quite a few people that listen that are, I feel like that's kind of peak cozy television, and this book is basically the same. Yeah, and I really loved it. And she's written more than one memoir, and I think she's written some fiction, which makes me intrigued as to what kind of fiction she writes, because she's a very good writer. So if it's cozy, I feel like she'd be really good at cozy. I don't know.
So don't hate me, but I haven't actually watched Gilmore Girls. It
Oh
is
my
on.
gosh.
I know I'll love it.
It's on Netflix, but it's just appeared on something else. So if you don't have Netflix, I feel like it's on ITV
I do.
X, the ITV player now.
I do have Netflix. I have no excuse other than that.
No excuse at
I
all.
no, but I just don't watch a lot of stuff. I literally will always just pick up a book, and people have to badger me to get me to watch anything. So
That's nice, though.
it is.
Don't
But
get sucked into television if you read books instead.
but would you say I'd still enjoy it if I haven't watched Gilmore Girls? Will I still
That's
enjoy?
the bit I'm not entirely sure about. I find it very hard to know if, because Chris, who was a host on this podcast, he loved it as well, but he also loves Gilmore Girls. So I'm kind of like, do you need to have seen that TV series? She doesn't just talk about it, and actually I'd say it's a fairly short amount of the book where she does talk about Gilmore Girls. So the fact that
Okay.
the rest of it I still loved. Her life story is fairly interesting. She's come from a fairly classic kind of actress background. I'd have thought there's a family with quite a lot of money, so that's it's interesting to hear her talk about the kind of auditioning processes she went through. But she also talks about how she was single for a very long, like publicly single for a very long time in Hollywood, and how she had to deal with that and the media, and then how she met her partner on the set of a different program that she was on. And yeah, I find her life very interesting, but I do wonder if I'm slightly swayed by the fact that I love Gilmore Girls so much.
Just a
And
little
she
bit.
is basically her character. So yeah, maybe it's one for the Gilmore Girls fans more than anything. But yeah,
Uh,
interestingly, she does have fiction. I'm going to look them up quickly.
yeah, I think I'd be keen to pick up because you say she's a good writer, and so but yeah, maybe if I picked up one of her fiction first. I should just watch Gilmore Girls. I
I
know
mean,
I'll
I
love it.
love Gilmore Girls. It's so cozy and lovely. And I've probably, it's like 7 seasons long with about 20 episodes in each, but
Wow,
I
that's a
have watched
commitment.
it a few times.
Because I'm going to bring up the pumpkin spice again, but
Yeah.
that's not Laurie Gilmore, because that's by Laurie Gilmore. Is that
I
meant to
mean, that
be?
has to be a pen name that
Yeah,
she's
surely.
done well from using that pen name because it's worked, hasn't it? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's well, okay. Oh my god, we're going back to the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, but it's all interconnected. So if you've not seen Gilmore Girls, you probably haven't necessarily made the link that the relationship in that book is very similar to Lorelai, who's in Gilmore Girls, and a character called Luke, who owns the coffee shop in the town in Stars Hollow.
Right. Okay.
So
Okay.
the characters in the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, I think, are loosely based on that relationship, because that's a very grumpy sunshine relationship as well. So
This is making
written
sense
by
now.
Laurie Gilmore, who's quite clearly a pen name.
This is
Yeah,
also making sense to why you probably preferred it a little bit more than I did, because if it is similar to Gilmore Girls and you love Gilmore Girls, then yeah,
maybe.
small
I
little
can't.
link.
Yeah, maybe. I actually thought the love interest in that book was an asshole.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, why are you doing
Red
this?
flags popping up all over the place. Someday, maybe.
That sounds cozy.
Does a little bit, doesn't it?
Mm.
A debut novel about a struggling young actress trying to get ahead and keep it together in New York City. Dunno. I'll have to read it and find out.
Sounds more of a spring book. I don't know. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it's less
scream
less
autumn.
cozy. Yeah. All right, go on then. You do your third one.
Oh, well, I've done what I did at the beginning, and I'm kind of squished two into my third, if that's
Cheating.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm
it's fine.
cheating basically because I'm incapable of making decisions. So one is, I would say, they're both cozy, but one's slightly more of a darker kind of cozy. The first one you've probably heard of. It's called This Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandanna. And it's about a main character called Mika Moon, and she's a witch, but it's set in modern day, and but she it has a YouTube channel, but on her YouTube channel she isn't a real quote unquote witch, but she actually is a real witch, but nobody knows she is. And but it's very cozy. She does tea magic and she makes lots of lovely teas and herbal things. And then, but she's like a solitary witch, and she goes to stay with this family, this kind of found family, in order to help these two young girls with their magic. But it's kind of against the society's rules. But it's all very fun. It's very light-hearted. It's so cozy. I loved it. I really did. And the characters really warm your heart. It's kind of got the grumpy romance trope a little bit in there, but it's not. That doesn't encompass the whole story. It's just like a thread that goes through it. Have you read it?
I have read it,
You
yes.
have, yeah. I thought you
Yeah,
would.
I listened to it, which I don't know is the best way to do it. And I think maybe I didn't love the narration of it, which is always a little bit of a shame. I think I'd have preferred to read it. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I like the romance in it. It was we're gonna keep slagging off the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. It was subtle and a slow burn and just more realistic, which I
Yes.
enjoyed a lot more.
Yeah, much more realistic, much more. Yeah, and the grumpiness was, what's the word? Yeah, more realistic than just we're grumpy for grumpy's sake.
Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely. I will just quickly mention the other one.
Go for it.
It's Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. And again, it is cozy, but a little bit more. It's not quite as light and fluffy. Set in a small town again, with Emery Blackwood, that's her name, and she again runs. So it's sort of more magical realism, so set in the real world, very real actually. It almost would make you believe that magic is real, because it's all to do with like herbs and teas again, and you end up thinking like, oh, this I could brew a pot of tea, a magic tea. I could do this. This is going to happen. And yeah, she's living her quiet little life, and then an ex, a boy she used to love, comes back to town, and there were accusations of a murder. So it is a little bit darker, but it's not horror, or it's not anything super scary or anything. But there is just that underlying sense of unease throughout the book. But she's very believable, the character in this one as well. Really good. Have you read this one?
No, I haven't heard of that one. That's a new one to me.
And the cover's really pretty as well, like all
Yeah,
sparkly.
cute. Spells for Forgetting. Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
heard of that one. We love a witchy book.
Yeah, well, as you can see, I mean, 3 out of 4 of those cozy ones have been witches.
I do love a witchy book. That is
I love a
fine by
witchy
me.
book. I really love a witchy book. I was reading what was it called? The Discovery of Witches series as well.
Oh, yeah, I've not read those either, but yeah, they're on my radar.
They are good, but they're not super cozy. So where I'm leaning more into the cozy witch, because again,
Yeah,
it's more relatable. I think, like, I can
yeah.
believe I could be a cozy witch. I am a cozy
Cozy
witch.
witch. Yeah, cozy witch vibes, defo. Cool. So that's our recommendations. We've got a few honourable mentions. I have one, and again, it's slightly a bit like the Lauren Graham one. It's a bit left field. I am going to recommend Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. Just kind of reflecting back on what I said at the start of the episode, that I quite like platonic love and friendship, and again, that kind of like everyday setting. It's just quite cozy, and I like being in that space of like really strong, lovely female friendships, and that's what that book is about, basically. And I will say, have you read this one?
I have, yes. I really
Have you
liked it.
seen the TV series?
I did, yes. I read the book first and then I watched that,
I
because it was
loved the
short enough.
TV series. Yeah, it's just one season, that's it. I love the TV series. Like the TV series, like captured that essence of female friendship, and it's just so lovely. So I highly recommend the TV series as well, but read the book first so you know what it's based on, because it's, yeah, I don't know. I think people found the TV series quite pointless, but I thought it was amazing. I loved it.
Do you think that was because the TV series was just a section out of the book, wasn't it? It wasn't the whole book. So I think maybe if you haven't read the book, yeah, the TV show would seem quite short. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I got that feel for it. I thought it would have gone on a bit longer.
I wish it had. I
Yeah,
wish they'd do more, but I think it is going to be a standalone TV series. But I just, yeah, I loved it. I think for me, it captured the essence of what I loved about that book, which is just her friendships and how
yeah,
amazing her friends are. And that's,
yeah.
yeah, that is what the TV series is about, even though it's about a very kind of, yeah, compacted version of her life, I guess.
Did you like the I thought there's a hint to practical magic in there. You know, when
Oh, I
they're
don't
all
remember.
there's a scene, it's definitely in the book. I think it's in the series, and they're all kind of, you know, the Midnight Margarita scene that's in the
Yeah, are they dancing
film.
around with the,
Yes, yeah, and I
yes,
think it's the same song that they use in the film, the thing about the lime and the
yeah.
coconut. Yeah.
Yeah,
There we go, there we
yeah,
go.
yes,
Yeah, that's in that, and it really reminded me of that kind of female witchy energy. So
yeah,
yeah, I enjoyed that. I was like, oh,
love
I
it.
see what you're doing, Dolly.
Yeah, go watch it, go read it. It's a good one.
What's that?
That's it. That's the only honourable mention I had.
It's a good one. It's very
Yeah.
honourable. It's very honourable, and it doubles up because there's you can watch it as well as read it.
Yes, yeah.
I've gone a little bit odd with my one as well. It's actually a book of poetry called The Lost
Ah.
Spells.
Oh, I have one of these. You took. I'm getting excited.
um, it's yeah called The Lost Spells by Robert McFarlane and Jackie Morris. They also did another one,
The
which
Lost Words.
The Lost Words. My
That's the,
mum,
yeah.
my
Oh,
mum
it's
has
so
that
such a
one.
nice book. It's beautiful.
It's
Yeah, that's the one I was about to look up. Yeah.
it's beautiful. And there's the poetry in there is stunning. It's all about nature because the book The Lost Words was all about the words they took out of the dictionary, wasn't it? And that
Yeah.
was all nature and sort of animals and everything connected with the natural world. And so this one is like a follow on from that, but there's little vignettes and poetry, and it's all you know, there's things about foxes and daisies and the moon and moths, and there's one about jackdaws. That's one of my favorites in here, the one about jackdaws, because you read it and it's written in, what's the word when it makes you almost recite it in like a rhythm, and it's
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, and you can almost, it sounds like a jackdaw when they're sort of
Mm.
hopping around.
Ah, nice.
It's just beautiful, and the cover is amazing as well. It would make a really good Christmas present actually, because it's like dark blue with gold speckles.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The Lost Words is really beautiful as well. We've got a copy of that one because I bought it for Robin, which she's never opened it. She probably won't until she's much older. But yeah, they are beautiful books. That's a really good one. I love that.
They're good for gifts.
Definitely, yeah, make really lovely gifts.
Did you have because I know we said about possible honorable mentions for like films or TV stuff, but I didn't know. I know we mentioned before because we were talking about the, what was the book you said, and then the memoir. Not no, not the memoir. The one I said that was like Pride and like when you want to watch Pride and Prejudice, or the
Oh, oh my
your
god,
second
the
cozy one.
Diary of a Provincial Lady. That one's
Yes, that
called.
one. Because I was going to say, yeah, if you want cozy, like period dramas and stuff are just brilliant at this time of year to watch when it's
Yes.
like Far from the Madding Crowd as well. It's all damp and rainy, and
Oh,
she's
I've
just,
not seen that one.
oh, it's so good. Well, that's a book as well, obviously, but I haven't actually read that book. I have watched that.
No, it's Thomas Hardy, right? He's quite
Yeah.
hard going. I don't think I'm going to read the book. Yeah, no, I've never seen that. Yeah, I love period dramas. They're definitely, generally cozy. Yeah, that kind of Jane
Oh
Austen's like
yeah.
adaptations are generally, yeah,
Yes,
lovely and cozy.
definitely. Just escapism, pure escapism. And
Yeah,
because they're just
yeah.
lying around doing nothing whilst it's raining and they're just like reading a book or something. I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that.
There's a TV series called, I don't know if you've seen it, called Lost in Austen, which came out, God, I don't know, it could have even been like 15 years ago now. No, that was just a one-off standalone TV series about a modern day woman, kind of, I don't know if she goes through a wardrobe or something, but she ends up in Pride and Prejudice.
Oh
And
wow, no, I haven't
falling in
seen
love with
this.
Darcy. Yeah, it's really good. It's called Lost in Austen.
I'm literally going to write that
It's
down.
brilliant. Very cozy and lovely.
That sounds amazing.
I had a few films. I limited myself to 3. I love cozy films, and they generally are romance, but not always. I think all 3 of these probably are. So I went You've Got Mail. Any Nora Ephron is just usually has those like lovely cozy vibes, and female friendships as well. But You've Got Mail is probably my favourite. I like Sleepless in Seattle too, but for real coziness, You've Got Mail, because it's set like autumn and Christmas. They're definitely setting up the bookshop for Christmas. So you know, a
cozy.
big setting of it is a little bookstore that she runs. So yeah, I thought that linked in quite well to some of the books we've talked about. I also went Practical Magic, which we have already talked about. It's one of my favourite films ever. Yeah, I don't really know how they made the shift from the book to the amazing, like, cozy, lovely, slight hint of romance that they did in that film. But it's really, I'm so glad it has like had like a revival in recent years.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I always used to force it on people, and I'm like, oh no, I don't need to. Now everybody talks about it. Yeah, so it's just lovely.
I heard they were doing a second one, but I
They
don't know if that's they
are.
are.
They are. There is a second one coming out.
I'm so
And
excited.
Nicole Kidman and what's her name? Sandra Bullock are in it, but I don't know. I don't know what they've done with it. I don't know whether
Ooh.
they're doing one of the other books, because there's 4 of the Practical Magic
Yeah.
series, isn't there?
And it
So I
goes
don't know whether they're
down.
doing another book or whether they'll do their own thing. I have no idea.
Maybe Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock will now play like the older witchy aunts,
The ants,
and there'll
yeah.
be some newer ones playing,
Yeah.
or younger ones, I should say, playing the younger ones. Maybe.
Yeah, because they couldn't really do the prequels with them being sort of, because they're probably in their like what, late 50s now, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
So yeah, I don't know. That's very exciting though. I'm
It
very
really
excited.
is, yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that is official, because I think whoever the studio is like announced it on their social media. So fingers crossed. And then the final one, which I feel like went under the radar, not many people have heard of, is The Truth About Cats and Dogs. Have you heard of this one?
I've heard of it, never seen it.
So it has Uma Thurman in it, and it's it's one of those ones that I watch back and I'm like, maybe slightly questionable now, but it's basically, I can't remember the lead actress's name, but she is like a radio vet, and what happens is a guy calls in and his dog has roller skates stuck on that he can't get off, and so she like talks him through like trying to get the roller skates off the dog. And anyway, he comes in to the studio to thank her, and he's very handsome, he's very lovely, and she's not a very confident person and isn't confident in what she looks like. And her neighbour Uma Thurman happens to be there, and she gets Uma Thurman to pretend that she is Uma Thurman. So that's who the guy meets and thinks he was talking to on the radio, and it's this whole kind of like, yeah, romantic storyline between them. But
That sounds
it's
cute.
very cozy, very cute. I love it, and yeah, not many people seem to have seen it. But it's I feel like we've moved on a little bit from like the storyline nowadays, but it is still it's very cute, and I really like it.
Might have to give that a watch. I do
Yes.
like an old school romantic comedy, because they're
Yeah,
a little bit
90s
cringe sometimes.
romantic comedy, yeah.
But it's what you want. Sometimes you want cheese on toast. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, highly recommend.
have you seen Lost in Translation? I thought of it because you
Yes.
mentioned with what's his name? No, he's not in. Why did I think of Bill Murray? You said about Nora maybe I was just... You seen any Nora Ephron films?
I
Maybe I
don't
was thinking of someone
think
else. I've somehow made the leap to Bill Murray, and it made me think of Lost in Translation, because
I
that's one of
love
my
Lost in
cozy.
Translation.
It's my, like, I'm cozy, I'm relaxing. There are some scenes on there that just relaxes me so much. It's just my
Cool,
my
we're getting
go-to.
well into film now. So Sofia Coppola, who's the director of that film, she's long-time listeners of the pod will know that I love her because I've talked about her before, and I'm now looking at the book that I have of all her films. I'd say all her films are kind of within that vein. Like Nora Ephron is very romantic comedy, cozy. Sofia Coppola is more... She creates that vibe in like her visuals more than in
It's
what the stories are. So I
Yeah,
say any of her films fit quite well into that like cozy kind of
little bubbles,
watching.
aren't they? Little bubble worlds.
Yeah.
Very drifty.
Yes, all of hers are like that. You're like, oh, this is nice to watch. Isn't this
Yes.
pretty? Isn't this lovely? Even though
Yes.
there's normally quite hard hitting topics like underneath them. She films in this like dream world. All of her films are like that.
It's
With a
beautiful. Yeah.
slightly dark undertone. But yeah. I love Lost in Translation. That's a good one. Oh, we could do a whole pod on films.
I think you'd be better. I'm like, I keep going. I always just rewatch if I'm gonna, if there's a time when I'm like, right, I'm gonna watch something on the telly. I'll just go back to something I've seen a million times, and just so I can quote all the words to it. Just like, it's just comfort, isn't it? It's like the
Yeah, I love
familiar.
rewatching stuff. Yeah. If I read more, I would reread more, but I don't get through enough books to like reread.
No.
TV and film I do, and I rewatch stuff all the time. I'm going to do one last TV recommendation. It's only because the new series has literally started and I love it. Is All Creatures Great and Small, which is on Channel 5. I'm linking the vet themes up here because it's this like Yorkshire village and this village veterinary practice, and it's the story of the veterinary practice, and it's lovely. And I don't know what season they're on now, maybe 5, but it's just started again on Channel 5, and it is so perfectly cozy and heartwarming, and like every now and again you might shed a tear, but generally it's just lovely. And go watch that, it's really lovely.
That sounds nice. And it's nice when it's a series, and like you said, you can look forward to the new one coming out, and you're like,
I've binge watched it like all the way up until now, and now I'm literally watching it live on a Thursday evening. I'm like, oh, this is
wow.
so nice in bed watching it. Yeah, I feel like a proper old granny watching live television. But yeah, it's very nice. And this whole episode has made me feel quite cozy now.
I feel super cozy. In my head, I'm like, oh, I think I need a hot chocolate. Like,
Yes, a hot
yeah,
chocolate. When we're done,
definitely.
I'm going to get in bed with a hot chocolate, finish my book. Very nice evening.
Definitely. Do you think you'll get Cackle finished?
I think I will. Tonight needs to be the night, and although I say that every night, and then I'm like falling asleep with a book in my hand. But yeah, I've literally got maybe like 20 pages left.
Oh, you can do
Should
that.
finish it. I can do it tonight.
I believe you
Yeah.
will.
Believe in me. Yeah. Well, thank you, Millie, for coming on. This has been fun, and we'll definitely get you on again because I don't think I'll get Sarah talking about cozy books. So you'll have to come back.
It's honestly been so much fun. Thank you for asking me to come on. It's been a joy.
And what's the link to your Instagram again?
It is Salt on Sunshine, all
Salt
one.
on Sunshine.
Yeah.
Cool. People go find Millie for all the cozy vibes. Thank you for listening. As always, there are loads of ways you can get in touch with us with any questions, ideas, or feedback. You can email us on the bookcastclub@outlook.com. You can get in touch on Instagram or TikTok, where we're at Bookcast Club. You can sign up to our newsletter, which I apologise I've been very slack with, but I am going to send something out with this new series, where there's more reviews, new releases, other podcast recommendations, and all the latest news about our podcast. Obviously, if you could check us out on Patreon, that would be lovely. We have just changed our tiers, so they are more affordable to everybody to listen to our bonus content. It'd be great if we met you over there. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week.